Hello there, welcome back. Let us try and understand Unix directories now. Okay, so let us talk about Unix file system. Okay, so if you go to your putty, okay, and if you go to my home directory, let us check where I am currently. Okay, let me go to my root directory. Okay, so I need to go to 3 steps back. Okay, and now you can see I am present. I am currently in my root directory. Okay, so if I hit now ls command over here, it will give me the list of all the files, whatever what and all I have. Okay, if I do ls hyphen a, okay, it will give me the all my uh, hidden files as well, hidden files and folders as well. Okay, now what and all these files and folders are. Okay, so that's what I'm going to talk in this video, that is about all about your Unix file system. Okay, so the very first thing is your root directory. Okay, so this slash is nothing but your root directory, right? So if I do pwd and if I see a slash, that means I am into the root directory. So whatever all directories, whatever I have, all my application, all my data, all like all the software components, everything is present in my root directory, right? So everything is under my root directory. Okay, or better, what I can do is I can go to my WinSAP and here I can show you a file structure. You can see it in a better way, right? So I just clicked on root. Okay, and in the root you can see I have these many number of files. Okay, sorry, folders. Okay, and in these folders, each folder is specifically mean for some purpose. Okay, that's what we are going to talk now. We are not going to talk in much details. Okay, because it's a huge, right? Those are the complete operating system concept. That is something which we don't want. Okay, we just want the folders which we will be dealing with and some important folders. Okay, so let us talk about that. So root directory, everything is present under your root directory. The next one is your binary directories. Okay, so binary directories are the directories which contains your executables. Like you see, you have some bin directory or yes bin. So if you go here, you see some bin directory. So if I open this bin directory, you can see all the executables under this bin directory. Okay, so let us take an example what and all we used. Okay, so let us say we use this pwd command, right? So for us it is a command, but for Unix it is a executable, right? It is a application, right? So this pwd, if I try and open, I may not be able to read its content. Let us check if I can open it. Yes, I can open, but I am not able to read it because it is a executable file, right? So basically it is a bin file. Bin folder basically contains all your executables. Okay, and we have another one called as sbin. Okay, it is again, it contains your executables only, but the difference in between your bin folder and sbin folder is bin folder contains the executable for your account as well as for your system, whereas this executables for sorry, the sbin folder contains executables for your systems which can be used for with root privileges. Okay, uh, that's what this binary directories are. Basically it contains all your executable directories. Okay, uh, executable directories is nothing but your compiled source code. Next one is configuration directories. Okay, so this configuration directories contains your all configuration files which are required for your system, for example etc or put. Okay, so if you remember, we navigated to this etc folder. Let me go to root and okay, let me go to etc. As I said, it contains the configuration files. Okay, so if you remember, in etc folder I went to the ssh, and then here I have shown you that we have some keys. Okay, we have some public keys, we have some uh, private keys. All the keys are present in this specific directories which are used to establish the ssh connection. Okay, so that's what is present under your etc directory. Not only that, but we have all the system configurations. Fine. And the similar thing we have it in a boot directory as well. Okay. So if I go to boot, give me a second here. Okay, so this boot directory again contains some file, but I should not touch the files from this directory because it contains the bootloader files. What it means is, from the name it suggests used for booting my system. Okay, so in other words, it's like they only contain the file which are needed for basic Linux system or basic Unix system to get up and keep it going, right? I should not touch them. So basically it contains all my files which are required to start up and to run my system, right? So that's what about my bin and etc folder, which are my configuration directories. Okay, what next I have the data directories, right? So data directories is something where I should put my data. Okay, so normally where do we put our data? So we go to home directory and we go to our specific user account, and here we create all our data. That could be your shell script, that could be your uh, files, or could be anything, any kind of data. Okay, so in the home directory we used to store our data. Again, there is something called as root folder as well. So, remember, this root and this root folder both are different. Okay, so we can even use this root folder, but it can be used only with root privileges, that is your system admin privileges. I'm not able to use it, so I'm getting access denied. Fine. What next? I have memory directories. Okay, so basically your memory directory contains the files of your whole system, right? So it contains basically all the information is contained in this dev folder, proc folder, system folder. So here this dev folder stores the all the device information, this proc folder stores all the processing information, and this sys all the files which are related to systems. Okay, again this is something which we are not supposed to touch. Okay, these are again some system related, file, device related, processing related, system related. We are not supposed to touch them. Next we have is user. So this from the name it sounds like this could be user data, but this user stands for Unix system resources. Okay, and the data is present in user slash bin and user slash lib. If you go to the path variable, in path variable you will see these Unix system resources, and it contains the read-only data, okay, which is used by Linux system. It contains basically all the libraries which are used by Unix systems. Again, we are not supposed to touch them. Next we have is a variable directory. So from the name we can say var directory. Okay, so whatever files I'm talking about, all files are present over here. Like you can see proc, you can see system, you can see user, you can see var, that is your variable directory. Okay, so in variable directory you can put basically the files from the name it suggests, like all the variable length file or variable size files. Okay, so it's like the files where for which we are not sure about its size. Okay, so that could be, let us say, your logs file or school file or your cache files. We are not sure about their length, right, or size, right? It keeps increasing, or we may delete it in our process somewhere, right? So all those unexpected size files are stored into this variable directory, that is in var log and var cache. Okay, so you can see cache and log folder. So while designing our system we should design in a such a way. Fine, so these are your variable directory. So that's what these are all the important directories which we deal with most of the time. Root directory, binary directories where all our executables are, then we deal with the data directory where we keep all our data keys, and all our configuration directories, configuration files are present in this etc file. Then memory directories, we are not supposed to touch them. Then we have a Unix system resources, again we are not supposed to touch them. And variable directory is something which we should use for variable size file. Okay, so that's what basically the important directories which we will be dealing with in Unix file system. Okay, so in Unix file system you have this again some media lost and found. So all these are what I can say non-standard directories. Okay, so we are not dealing with them. Fine, so that's all I have for this video where we talked about this important directories in Unix file system. Thank you.